They say, a wedding is the most important day of your life. A day when your family shows up to celebrate you, to honor the journey that brought you to this moment, and to witness the vows that will shape your future. But what happens when the people who are supposed to love you the most don't show up at all? On the morning of my wedding, while adjusting my tie in a mirror cracked with childhood memories, I received a voicemail. My mother's voice, hollow, apologetic, told me they wouldn't be coming. Not because of a car accident, not because of illness, not because of any true emergency. They weren't coming because my sister's dog was sick. That was it. My sister was upset, and that apparently trumped my wedding day. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I didn't even call them back. Because deep down, I wasn't surprised. You see, I have a sister who's 6 years older than me. And for as long as I can remember, my life has been lived in the shadow of her breakdowns, her whims, her needs. I'd have a basketball game, and just before tip-off, I'd get a message. Sorry, we can't come. Your sister doesn't feel like going out today. I graduated high school with honors. My name echoed through the auditorium. My parents' seats stayed empty. Your sister had a rough day at work, they said. Over the years, they missed both the milestones and the small victories. Not because they didn't know, not because they forgot, but because she had another meltdown, another crisis, another reason they needed to be elsewhere. And I was always the afterthought. So when I met the love of my life, the woman who saw me, really saw me, and we decided to get married, I did something I hadn't done before. I tried to protect myself. I told my parents, early and often, that I was afraid my sister would ruin another important day. I didn't accuse. I didn't lash out. I simply said what was true. I was scared they wouldn't show up. Over and over again, my mother reassured me, "It won't happen. We'll be there." But of course, they weren't. Instead, on the morning of the wedding, that voicemail, the excuse, the same pattern all over again. But this time, something was different. My best man, a true friend who had witnessed every heartbreak, every empty seat, every missed applause, he decided to give me a wedding gift. While we were away on our honeymoon, tucked into the peace of a lakeside cabin with no cell service and no distractions, he posted a video online. It was a montage, still images from our wedding day. My wife and I smiling beneath an arch of flowers, me dancing, spinning, laughing, alone, cutting the cake without my parents, posing with her parents on either side, while mine were nowhere. Over the entire video, he laid the audio of my mother's voicemail. "My love," it said, "we're so sorry. Your sister's dog is sick. She's very upset. We just can't come." And the caption? "My best friend. He is an amazing person, even if his parents never showed up for him." That was it. No commentary, no dramatics, just the truth, laid bare. When we returned from our honeymoon, I turned my phone back on. Hundreds of messages, from cousins, from uncles, from people I hadn't heard from in years, from my parents, my sister. Everyone wanted the video taken down. "She hasn't stopped crying," they said. "Your mom won't leave the house. Have some compassion," they begged. It was just a bad night. But I didn't take it down. I didn't even respond. Not immediately. I unpacked our bags, set up our new home, slept beside my wife, cooked dinner in a kitchen that smelled like beginnings, not wounds. When my vacation ended and I returned to work, then, and only then, I called. My father answered. He told me again to take the video down, that it was just a bad night, that they'd make it up to us. Make it up to us? I asked him how exactly he planned to make up missing my wedding. There was silence. Then he said it again. We'll make it up to you. But there was no plan, no gesture, no understanding of what had been lost. So I told him the truth. I'd take down the video when they made up for missing my wedding. We both knew what that meant. We both knew they couldn't. And then we hung up, before words were said that couldn't be taken back. Since then, I've heard more cries from extended family, that I'm cruel, that I'm ungrateful, that I've embarrassed them. But I ask you this, where were they when I was alone at graduation? Where were they during the games, the birthdays, the endless small days that make up a life? And more importantly, why is their shame louder than their remorse? They didn't miss my wedding because of love. They missed it because they made a choice, again, to prioritize someone else's feelings over mine. And now, they're only sorry that the world saw it happen. So, am I the asshole? Because I didn't take the video down, because I waited to respond, because I chose peace with my wife over chaos with my family, because I let the truth speak louder than the silence I've endured my whole life. You tell me, was I wrong to let everyone see the truth? And now, a reflection from your host, here on AITA Story Vault. Sometimes, the deepest wounds aren't caused by strangers. They're carved by the quiet, repeated betrayals of the people who were supposed to show up and didn't. This isn't just a story about a wedding. It's about a life. A life spent hoping, pleading, waiting for the kind of love that's unconditional, and coming to terms with the reality that some families only give that love to one child. There's nothing petty about holding people accountable, and there's nothing cruel about refusing to erase the evidence of your pain just because it makes someone else uncomfortable. To the person who wrote this story, you didn't embarrass your parents. They did that themselves. And your best man? He gave the world a gift. Proof that loyalty isn't always in blood. Sometimes it's in the friends who see you when your own family looks away. To our listeners, tell us in the comments, have you ever had to choose between protecting your peace and protecting someone else's pride? And most of all, do you think he was the asshole? This is AITA Story Vault. Subscribe for more stories that crack open the hard truths and shine light on the people brave enough to speak them.